Thank you for joining us on Asset Television News. I am Eugenia Solomon. First, the headlines.
Nigerian Senate overhauls tax administration system. Stop the killings now. OPA urges federal government. Plus, Labour Party sinks deeper into crisis.
And now the news in detail. The Nigerian Senate has approved 2 out of 4 key tax reform bills, marking a major step in the ongoing overhaul
of Nigeria's tax administration system. The bills passed include one of repeal the Federal Inland Revenue Service Establishment Act and another to establish both the Joint Revenue Board and the Nigeria Revenue Service. These were adopted after detailed review and a third reading on the floor of the Senate. Presenting the committee report, Senator Sani Musa, chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, emphasized that the tax reform legislation is vital for President Bola Tinubu's vision of growing Nigeria's economy to $1 trillion by 2030. He stressed the importance of creating laws that are practical, beneficial, and enduring beyond the current administration, reflecting the true needs of Nigerians.
Pass the following bills: Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill 2025, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill 2025, Nigerian Tax Administration Bill 2025, Nigerian Tax Bill 2025. In conclusion, the committee wish to thank Mr. President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly. We also want to thank the leadership of the Senate, members of the committee, and all the senators for all the contributions they have made. For the first time, this committee had a retreat with over 62 senators in attendance. And all the days, we have never had anything less than 46 sitting. So that shows you the importance of this. We thank the staffs of the Secretariat who works assiduously to ensure the timely completion of this report. I so submit, Mr. President.
However, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, praised the progress, expressing confidence that these reforms would improve governance and transform the way taxes are collected and distributed nationwide.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to provide for the assessment, collection of, and accounting for revenue accruing to the Federation, federal, states, and local governments, prescribe the powers and functions of tax authorities and for related matters 2025. Third reading taken and passed. Let me thank the chairman and members of the Finance Committee and related committees, including the consultants and also the elders special committee of the Senate and all distinguished senators that worked on these 2 bills that have now passed third reading. And also pray that these bills will revolutionize tax collection distribution in Nigeria.
Akpabio assured that the remaining 2 bills would be concluded even if it required extending sitting hours. Members of the On-Thief Professionals Association in Abuja have petitioned the Inspector General of Police against the constant spate of killings in Benue State. President of the association, Engineer Abraham Aku, at a press conference in Abuja said the heinous activities of marauding herdsmen in the state clearly contravenes the constitution of the country.
Aku said several lives have been lost and the relevant authorities have always turned blind eyes while the people cry for help.
The heinous activities of these marauding herdsmen in the state have clearly contravened the provision of the Constitution. Their activities have, over the years, claimed several lives, destroyed homes, properties, and farm produce for worth billions of naira. The effect of their activities has equally destroyed both the economy and sources of livelihood of many families, affected communities, and the entire state. Sadly, Benue, like many other states in Nigeria, these suspected armed Fulani herdsmen and their terror now wears a common face. What was once framed as herder-farmer clash has become a full-blown system of armed militia invasion.
He said what was once framed as herder-farmer clashes has become full-blown militia invasion occasioned with mass murder, displacement, and economic siege on the people of Benue State. Abraham Aku mentioned worst hit areas to include
the entire Kwande Okum Logo, Katsina-Ala, Buruku, Agatu, Otukpo, Guma, Gwe West, and Gwe East local government areas have come under heavy attacks by these heartless killers. The remaining surviving residents have fled their ancestral lands and are taking refuge in other parts of the state that have not come under severe attacks by the Fulani herdsmen. In the most recent deadly attacks on communities in Kwande, Ukum, Logo, Katsina-Ala local government, it was reported that over 300 lives of innocent citizens were wasted, with property worth billions of naira destroyed. The gory situation is replicated across the state.
He calls on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, identify, arrest, and prosecute the marauding herdsmen and also identify their sponsors. While the federal government has called for an overhaul of military tactics to address Nigeria's worsening
insecurity. Thus, it said the country needed rather than a security summit. The Senate had on Tuesday resolved to hold a 2-day national security summit to brainstorm on solution to the rising wave of killings and other forms of insecurity in the country. The decision followed a motion sponsored by Jimo Ibrahim, senator representing Ondo South, at the resumption of plenary. Speaking during the ministerial briefing in Abuja, the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Baradu, questioned the relevance of the Senate's proposed National Security Summit, arguing instead for renewed strategy. Badaru also dismissed the idea that terrorists poses superior firepower compared to the Nigerian military, insisting that the nation's armed forces are better equipped. As a television news will make a return after the break. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. Now the crisis in the Labour Party took a new turn on Wednesday as the Nenadi Usman-led caretaker committee, backed by Abia State Governor Alex Soti and 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi, announced that it had commenced an investigation into the numerous corruption and forgery allegations leveled against embattled National Chairman Julius Abure. Usman made the disclosure at a press conference in Abuja held to counter the National Executive Council meeting convened last week by the Abure-led National Working Committee. According to her, a disciplinary committee chaired by the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, Ireti Kingibe, with LP chieftain Peter Ame as secretary, has been established to probe the allegations against Abure and recommend appropriate sanctions if found guilty. The caretaker committee also denounced Abure's recent attempt to sanction Governor Oti, describing it as invalid.
In response, Abure's faction at a separate NEC meeting announced the suspension of Oti and 6 other key party figures, including Senator Kingibe, Senator Darlington Mokocha, Victor Afam Ogene,
Amobi Oga, and Sheyi Sowumi, over alleged anti-party activities. The disciplinary committee members, as announced by Abure's faction, include Dr. Ayo Olurofemi, Chairman, Umar Farouk, Secretary, Kende Edun, Dudu Manuga, and Kalistas Ehijawa. Still in the news, members of the All Progressives Congress APC, All Progressives Grand Alliance, and other party supporters and support groups in Anambra State have been barred from wearing party uniforms during the official visit of President Bola Tinubu. The Anambra State government, through the special advisor to the governor on political matters, Dr. Alex Obiobolu, disclosed this in a press statement made available on Thursday. Tinubu, during the official working visit, is expected to host a high-level town hall meeting between the president and key stakeholders in the state at the newly refurbished Dr. Alex Ekweme Square in Awka, and specifically party members were warned from wearing party uniforms at the venue. Well, Obiobolu in the statement said the directive was issued to avoid unnecessary political rivalry and public showmanship that would overshadow the purpose of the president's visit. On the foreign scene now, black smoke billowed from a chimney over the Vatican Sistine Chapel for the second day, Thursday, as Cardinals' meeting is in conclave once again failed to choose a new pope. Thousands of the faithful were awaiting the smoke in St. Peter's Square on the morning of the second day of secret voting by the 133 cardinal electors. Details of this in our subsequent bulletin. With that story, we end the news. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and programs. On behalf of the entire news crew,